If you are somebody who is working on your self-image, your self-concept, I am going to be studying the Psycho-Cybernetics book by Maxwell MALTZ. I'm going to be trying to post a video over every chapter I read and my key things that I took notes on from the book. I think that's kind of fun, and it's nice to watch different people's perspectives and just like what they're snagging out of each chapter of a book like this. And this is definitely a book that you could read over and over and study. So yeah, I'm going to be doing chapter 1 today. So if you're interested in my takeaway notes, then stay tuned. In chapter 1, it's basically breaking down the key concepts of the book and giving you an introduction to basically how your brain works, your mind, your subconscious mind. So I would like to start by a quote that was out of the book. And I'm just going to read off my notes because I'm not going to remember all this stuff, okay? So, positive thinking can't be used effectively when attached to an old self-image. Okay, that is mind-blowing and makes so much sense because my entire life I have been the positive person, and everybody always describes me as that. Like, I'm so upbeat, I'm so positive, and I still have had a lot of triumphs to overcome. And I've always wondered why this was when I've been so positive, but it's because of my old self-image. Okay, now back to my notes. And bear with me because I wrote these notes in bed one night, and now when I go back to read them, I realize I really should have done a better job with my penmanship. Okay, so here we go. The subconscious mind isn't a mind at all, but a goal-striving servo mechanism consisting of the brain and nervous system, which is used and directed by the mind. Man doesn't have two minds, but rather a mind operating an automatic goal-thriving machine, which he compares to a computer, but better. The creative mechanism within you is impersonable. It will work automatically and impersonably to achieve goals of success and happiness, or unhappiness and failure, depending on the goals you set out for it. The goals you convey to the mechanism are filtered through your self-image. And if they are inconsistent with the self-image, they're rejected or modified. By discovering how to alter your self-image, you end its conflict with your goals. Then, if you can communicate your goals directly to your creative mechanism, it will do whatever is necessary for you to achieve your goals. Your creative mechanism uses the information and data that we feed into it, our thoughts, beliefs, and interpretations. Through attitudes and interpretations of situations, we describe the problem to be worked on. If we feed informational data into our creative mechanism to the effect that ourselves are unworthy, inferior, and undeserving, incapable, our negative self-image, this data is processed and acted on as any other data and giving the answer in the form of our objective experiences in life. So you're probably wondering, how do we get this self-image? Where does it come from? How is it formed? And in the book, it discusses that it comes from your self-image imprinting, which comes from 3 things, and that is authoritative source, intensity, and the repetition. And he gives an example of basically like if you had an aggressive father who was really intense and it was consistent, like that's just how he was, and so that's how you were drilled as a kid. So basically, it's like your self-image is imprinted from your parents or whoever raised you or whoever you were around the most, which is really important. So with knowing that, if you don't have kids yet, working on your own self-image and getting that together and deciding how you want to imprint on your children would be amazing. If more people knew that, then we'd probably have less messed up kids in this world and less messed up humans, you know? This program now in your hand is a path to a greater understanding of your own mind based on theological models. The method itself consists of learning, practicing, and experiencing new habits of thinking, imagining, remembering, and acting in order to develop an adequate and realistic self-image. Use your creative mechanism to bring success and happiness to achieving particular goals. Psycho-cybernetics, the method to be used, consists of creative mental picturing, creatively experiencing through your imagination, and the formation of new automatic reaction patterns by acting out and acting as if. These aren't new concepts, and if you have tried and failed before, it was because you attempted in applying the techniques in conflict with your old self-image. Once you try them with your new self-image, you will see results. And he basically had went into depth about suggesting as a homework assignment that you study someone that you admire and who you think is successful. For like a lot of athletes, that would be like Kobe Bryant, and studying everything he did and how he basically trained himself and his habits and his beliefs. And he says, basically to where, learn that person to where you could basically go into a conversation with Kobe Bryant or whoever and basically already know how they would answer the questions because you know them like inside out. And basically that kind of like gives you a reference of how you would want to be to help start forming your new self-image. So why would you want to improve your self-image? Well, obviously it improves your life, but he basically kind of goes into a conversation about you are forming this new self-image for more life, more liveliness. He gives a little definition of aliveness in the book, and it says, the experience of living a life unrestricted by self-image imposed artificial beliefs. Happiness, success, peace of mind equals more life. When we inhibit our abilities, frustrate our God-given talents, and allow ourselves to suffer from anxiety, fear, self-condemnation, and self-hate, we choke off the life force available to us and turn our back on the gift our Creator has made. And the last thing I would like to say on this chapter was this quote in the book that I wrote down. To the degree that we deny the gift of life, we embrace death. Okay, so I'm gonna make a playlist so that way if you are wanting to follow my little takeaways from psycho-cybernetics, you can easily click on that and go through each chapter. And if you've read it, definitely comment below. If you have any different takeaways from each chapter, please let me know. Hope this video was a little positivity in your life, and see you guys next time.